All right, here we go. 30-second interview. 30 seconds. We're talking about Toronto. Do I have a light?
Is your name Daniel Light?
Yeah.
I make fun of you on Facebook constantly.
What's your name?
Tana.
Oh man, Tana. You look different than I remember. We met before.
Yeah, we have.
How are you, brother? Okay, can we interview you and find out why you make fun of me on Facebook?
Sure.
Yes. Now this is about to get interesting. Hi, how are you? See, beautiful. So, love to think. So this is all about love. Okay. This is Tana. I'm Danny Light on Facebook. Tana makes fun of me all the time.
Literally all the time.
He absolutely, I cry at night when I go to sleep because of this man right here.
Sorry, bud.
Okay, so why do you make fun of me, Tana?
Because you're so wrong about the anti-vax movement.
Oh, okay. What am I wrong about?
Well, your points are that we shouldn't be taking it, right?
Okay.
But we should.
Why?
Because if you don't and the virus continues to spread, we're going to get even more variants and we're not going to be able to do anything fun for the next forever.
Oh, okay. Well, is 16 months not enough time not to do any fun?
That's not the concern. I mean, it could be longer than that is the problem.
In my opinion. And you're saying that if I don't get the vaccine, then I'm the one causing the problem?
Yes.
Okay. So 16 months in. Now let me ask you, if the government said we need to lock down for another year, would you be for that?
I wouldn't necessarily be for it, but I'd understand why it needs to be done.
Why would it need to be done?
Because did you see what happened to the hospitals in March?
I actually went to Etobicoke and I filmed an empty hospital. It was empty, completely empty. And I got shadow banned on Twitter because of it. Are you following me on Twitter? No, just on Facebook.
Just on Facebook, yeah, on Facebook.
Okay. So I would try to pose it like this. I would say, look, I completely agree. I'm not an anti-vaxxer per se. I've had vaccines in my life.
That's the thing, right? They're vaccines.
They're vaccines, but not vaccines that were invented in a month.
This wasn't invented in a month. It's been researched for the last 20 years and been tested for the last 10.
How can you test a vaccine on something that just came out in
mRNA
February of...
have been researched for, like I said, for 20 years at this point.
So they've been researched, but have they ever been approved for use in humans?
They've been tested.
They've been tested, but have they been approved?
Not yet, but we haven't, we threw a lot of money towards the research for it. To basically cut a bunch of red tape so that we could use these vaccines. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, it's a great, I have an article I'd love to send you that it just discusses how it's a great piece of technology and we're really lucky that it's now finally being used because it's going to have a lot of different uses down the road as well.
I hope so. Now, I guess for me, the philosophical debate is now we're getting to the point where the government's saying that you should be forced to take a vaccine to travel or to potentially walk into a grocery store. Do you think that vaccines should be mandated by the government?
No, I believe in everyone has their freedom to do whatever they want. But if you need to travel to another country and they're the ones saying you can't get in without a vaccine, that's on them. You have no right to go into their country.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. Governments can do that. Yeah. Do you think the Canadian government should do that?
I don't think so. I would love it if people did just get vaccinated. I would love that. But I, again, strongly believe that you have the right to make your decision. It's your body.
Well, I want to just put this out there, okay? So I've been at protests with up to, say, 30,000 people. And all the people that I'm with haven't gotten sick. And I'm at the Church of God every Sunday, and there's at least 700-800 people there. Nobody gets sick. And
that you know
that I know of.
And I've known plenty of people who have gotten sick and have had issues.
Like what kind of issues?
They were out for an entire week. I had a friend who almost lost his mom to the disease. Like in the ICU, they called him over twice to be like, you should say your goodbye.
How long ago is this?
This would have been a couple months back. I spoke to him in March, so he said it was a couple months before that, so sometime in the winter, January, February, I don't know.
Okay, what about the COVID vaccine? Have you met anybody that had the vaccine and really had side effects from the vaccine?
No.
Not a single person.
Everyone I know that's gotten it was fine. For me, I'm double vaccinated, and my arm hurt for 2-3 days, and that was it. I felt a little bit nauseous on the third day. Other than that, like, I've been fine.
So going back to the approval thing, so you would and it would admit that these vaccines have not been approved by Health Canada, but approved for use by Health Canada. Do you know the distinction between the two?
I don't. Educate me.
The distinction between the two is the FDA and Health Canada will go through a full vaccination approval process. That process usually takes 7 to 10 years.
Do you know why it didn't take this long, though?
Why?
Normally, with vaccines, there are steps that you need to take. Like, X happens, then we do Y, then we do Z. This time around, they've all, you're allowed to do them concurrently to basically get the vaccine out of the door. So it's not a matter of, we're not taking enough time. All the testing and everything was still done. It was just done concurrently versus taking the 7 to 10 years like you would expect.
Well, the reason it takes 7 to 10 years is because of long-term effects. And they can't give everybody the exact same dose, regardless of size. Like now they're saying they want to vaccinate 12-year-olds. Yeah. And they are actually in Toronto, even though the World Health Organization said do not do that. So the problem with that is you have a 12-year-old kid that weighs 75 pounds versus a 50-year-old man that weighs 350 pounds. And yet they both get the exact same shot from the exact same vial. So it's very important to do these long-term tests because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. The fall is coming, the winter is coming. Some of the doctors I've been speaking with said the problem is when the flu season rolls around that we don't know how people are going to react. And one of the biggest and most common reactions is when flu season comes around, an autoimmune response is triggered by a vaccine. The mRNA vaccines, I've studied a lot, and I do agree it could potentially be very positive, maybe, but the biggest studies they ever did with these mRNA vaccines on animals, all the animals in the study died. And I can't obviously reference the exact study right now, but the problem was the timeline. There was no time taken on these vaccines. So for me, it's very concerning. I would like to tread on the side of caution and say, okay, you guys came up with a vaccine, even if they've been testing it for 20 years or not, but these new vaccines, there just simply is not enough information. So that's why...
That's understandable. I understand where you're coming from, but like I said, the research I've done has said basically, these have been tested the normal way, just, again, everything's been done concurrently. So I have no concerns. I see where you're coming from, that we don't truthfully know the long term, but that can be said about anything. It's just not a concern for me, and I guess the only way we're going to find out is, again, when we have this conversation in 7 to 10 years.
Of course. Now, at least, okay, so Tanner's not wearing a mask at least, so you feel comfortable not wearing a mask anymore?
Double vaccinated, hell yeah.
Do you not wear a mask at all anymore?
I was wearing one just now. Yeah, okay. I was just wearing one at the Maddie.
Oh, well, I haven't worn a mask in months personally. The last time was actually at the airport coming back from Mexico because I thought the Mexican guards were going to shoot me if I didn't. But otherwise, I don't wear a mask anymore. But you feel comfortable not wearing a mask now that you're double vaccinated?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Do you think that you can still contract COVID if you're double vaccinated?
Yes, you can. You can.
Why is that?
Because not all vaccines are 100% effective. That's just not how it works.
The vaccine isn't to prevent you from getting the disease, it's to prevent you from dying from it.
Yeah.
To prevent you from dying from it. So,
Trains your immune system to fight it.
these variants that you were talking about, does the vaccination protect you from the variants?
Relatively well, yeah, actually. Yeah.
How would they know that if Delta variant, for example, just came out?
It hasn't just come out. It's been out for quite some time in the UK and India, actually. It's been out for a while, man.
Okay, but if, like, say, Echo variant comes out tomorrow,
Yeah.
would that mean you'd have to get a new vaccine?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, man. I'm not a scientist. I don't know the truth on that answer.
And then if in the future there is a variant and the government says you need to get vaccinated again, would you be willing to do that?
Yes. Yes.
How much would you be willing to do that?
110%. It's for the public good.
Okay. So it's been an interesting conversation. This is absolutely insane that Tandem and I, but
Yeah, this is hilarious.
if you're on Facebook, you got to come check us out.
See, I literally chirp him like every day.
Yeah, I wanted to block him one time because I was like, I had enough. But like, God brought us here together today. Tandem and I are talking. Danny Light Tandem. Check us out on Facebook and you can see the full story. Tandem, thank you very much for your time today.